Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday night team call, whatever we're calling it. We're really excited to be here. And we brought a friend. There's like my favorite times ever. This is Shelly Gertzen, and she is a sideline to us. She is on my friend Marge Martin's team. And Shelly is just okay. I shouldn't even. You guys are gonna adore her. So just you're gonna want to go ahead and like follow her on social so that you can see all the things that she's doing. But we asked her to come on and share a bit of her health story and then her business story as well. Because I know that she's got so much to share. So I want you to keep in mind any questions that you have, because I'm sure that she'll have time at the end to answer a few things. But Shelly, I'm just going to hand it right over to you. So thank you so much for being here with us.
I'm really excited. Thank you very much, Janelle. I love sharing in an environment like this. And so I'm like, pretend you're all in my living room having tea and really casual. And yeah, if you have questions, maybe just pop them in the chat so you don't forget them and we'll address them at the end. But my product and business story are very intermingled. And when I was thinking of this, what I was really honing in on is when I worked, I went to a ton of conferences. And I'm always like, they asked me to kind of rate them and be like, which ones do you like? Which ones don't you like? And some of the best speakers I didn't enjoy because there was a couple speakers that kind of went in our circuit that were funny and amazing and good to listen to. But at the end of it, I'm like, what am I going to do differently because of this? I was like, nothing. And so I'm interrupting my own story with pro tips. So if you're a pen and paper person, along the way, there's a few things in my story, both health and business, that I'm like, this is something that we need to kind of let sink in a little bit. So with that, I'm going to get started. Um, and I'm on page 3. I'm going to start on page 1. Where's page 1? Okay, there we go. Excellent. Okay, here we go. So 2015, Martha came to me with the products and she's like, you got to try this. It's amazing. I did not think I had any health issues at the time, so I wasn't looking for anything. So I tried them for 1 month and I quit because I thought as a friend that was the polite thing to do. For the next 5 years, she constantly messaged me, invited me to events, and I said no, and I ghosted her. That's not a term I use. I'll tell you why in a minute, but I didn't respond, okay, at all. So here's pro tips 1 and 2 very quickly and shortly on in the story. The first thing was when she said you need this, I didn't think I had a problem. And when we're talking to people, we're telling people, you need what I have. You need vitamins. Nobody needs vitamins. Nobody wants supplements. Nobody even wants to fix inflammation. People want energy to spend time with their grandchildren. People want to feel good in the wedding dress or at the event. They want to be able to get up and down the stairs without pain. They want to be able to sleep at night. Like these are the things people want. So when you're talking to people, we need to have awareness of like how we talk about what we say. Because when she said, "Oh, I think you have leaky gut issue. You need to work on your gut microbiome," I'm like, "I don't think my gut microbiome is any of your business." And I had no idea what she was talking about. I had all the issues and I thought I had none, you guys, like none. My period was 8 days long, but who talks about that? So I thought that was like 8 to 10 days was kind of normal. The first time I had it, a half a period for 3 days, I was like, oh my gosh. I said to my husband, I just had half a period. What's up with that? I had no idea that was most people's experience, right? My inflammation in my knuckles, it's hereditary. Everyone in my family gets arthritis. And so I wasn't looking to fix those problems, right? So I think the thing I learned as I look back early on is how I talk to people because not everyone is aware that they even have a problem. The second thing was I wasn't a social media person and I didn't wasn't on my phone much. So when she thought I was ghosting her, I just wasn't getting the messages because I had 2 little kids. I checked my messages in the morning as long as nobody burnt down. I put it on the top of my fridge. I maybe checked it at night and maybe I didn't, right? So one positive thing I've had in my business is I always assume the best in people. I don't really pay attention and think people are ignoring me because I don't think they are. Everyone's just really busy. So the long and short of it was December 19th or December of 2019, she asked me in a challenge. She'd asked me to do 100 challenges with her. This one was the giant plexus wide one, like it was Canada, the States, Mexico. There was like a $10,000 prize. And I want to tell you what happened the day she asked me, because I had been saying no to her for weeks and months and years. That day, I'd gone to the Space Science Center with my 2 boys and friends of ours, and we took pictures. And I looked at the pictures and I went, oh, I've gained a lot of weight. My face is puffy. I look so tired. I look awful. Is this how I look? My fat pants are like busting out on me. I split them during the day, and it was my worst self-esteem day. And I'm looking at these pictures. I'm like, how did I let this happen? And she's like, do you want to do a health challenge? I'm like, yeah. I didn't want the products. I didn't believe in the products. I didn't believe in the business model. It was just the timing. So, pro tip number three, you guys, when you ask someone, they might not be at a place today. There's this clock that Eric Worre had talked about in his training. I don't know if you caught it, but there's different numbers on the clock. And between 12 and 6, people are not open to your products with what's going on in their life. And I bounced between there back and forth. So I was always very, very closed. In that 3 hour window, probably within 2 weeks, I would have cried to my husband. He'd have said, "You're beautiful the way you are, honey." And I would have gotten over it. And she would have asked me, and I would have said no. But in that moment, I was ready because I felt really frustrated. So never give up on people because it might not be their time today, but it will be their time. If I can wait 5 years, Martha waited for five, 5 years, you guys, for me to say yes. But here was my plan now. So I was going to do the challenge. I was going to work really hard and win the money and then quit the products and be $10,000 ahead and feel great and never do it again. And in the meantime, I wanted to prove to her it didn't work. I didn't grow up with natural health. I didn't believe in it. I thought this is not going to work. Hard work's going to work. So I had this little journal. I wrote everything I took, everything that came into me, everything that came out of me, every single thing I did, and I was going to scientifically prove to her at the end of it, I was going to show her that it did not work. Fun fact, by the end of 1 month, I was down way more weight than I ever had been. The only time I saw those numbers on the scales was going up, passing it probably at age 10. And I never thought I could feel that good. So I thought, okay, so I'll give the products a try. After 4 months, I was like, okay, now I have to do this. Meanwhile, I had been beaking off to some of my friends saying, I'm trying this thing. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. And so because they saw my results, I had 3 people start with me. So now I'm in a pickle because now I'm making a little bit of money and it was like 40 bucks, but it's pretty exciting to get 40 bucks a month, right? For just doing something with friends. So I was getting my money and I was feeling really good. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kind of slowly, cautiously walk forward and see what happened. So this was 2020. So what's happening in 2020? The world is shutting down. Martha keeps saying, you need to do the business. And I'm like, well, I'm not seeing anyone. Fun fact, I wasn't on social media, so I have no way of seeing people. It just wasn't a good time. 2021, Eva's team was doing a challenge. So that was the first time I was exposed to Janelle and Jimmy and a bunch of people. They were doing this challenge and all the leaders were putting in, they had tips and they had all these things. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try to get a couple people to do this. Now, what had happened just before the challenge is I went to see a friend, and this friend was like on fire for Jesus, and she was energetic, and she was this fun super mom, and she'd been sick in the last couple years. And I went to see her and she was not doing well. And I'm like, you have to start Plexus and here's what it can do for you. And she said, I'm not sure I'm there yet, but she's like, you're amazing at this business. Like, you're so good at talking to people. I'm like, I'm not doing this business. I'm never doing the Plexus business. Like, I was still like a hard no in my mind, right? Because I had a previous MLM traumatic situation and I didn't understand the model, how it could be and how Plexus does it now. So I had taken my son's dog for a walk that day, and where we live, we kind of have this giant field behind us. And fields in Alberta are not like, it's very rolly and plains and hills. And so you're walking in the winter, you think you're walking and then you like kind of fall down. So it's a bit of a hard walk. So I'm walking in this field with the dog in winter. And I was like having that wrestle in my head, the good and the bad. I should do it. I shouldn't do it. I should do it. I shouldn't do it. I'm like, I just don't want to sell to people. Like, I was the kid, you guys, I was afraid to sell Girl Guide cookies. Like, we would get, the school fundraisers of the chocolate almonds, and your grandmas would come over and I'd be afraid to ask my grandma and grandpa to buy chocolate almonds for me. Like, I couldn't do it. So I'm like, how can I do this? But I'm like, what if I'm not selling? What if I'm just helping people? And I had this thought, whether it's from God is debatable, but I feel like I was being told, what if you help people become their best version so they can shine their light towards me? Like, what if that's what you do? And it's not selling and it's not weird. So, you guys, I was getting so excited. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I'm walking down, I'm falling because the rolly hills I'm telling you about, it's winter. I couldn't find where the hills were. And as I'm trudging back home, some really sharp reality settled in. Okay. The world is still shut down. It's 2021. I'm homeschooling my kids. I don't get out. I had zero knowledge of the products. I just knew they started working. I didn't care about the ingredients. I didn't know anything. And I had no social sell. I had no selling experience. I know I was bad at selling. That was my only experience. And I had no social media footprint. You guys, I had never been on Facebook. I'd never been on Twitter, nothing. So I'm walking back and the reality hits me of I'm going to do a social selling gut health business. I know nothing. I have nothing. I was like, okay, this is not something to panic about. So I go on the internet and I find a video, how to be successful in social selling. And I find a video and they're like, all you need is, and they mention all the things I didn't have. Plus they're like, or motivation. I wrote that down somewhere. It's interesting. Motivation, inspiration. It will get you accolades and time freedom. Well, I didn't want accolades. I didn't need time freedom. I didn't think I needed community because I had one. I wasn't desperate. Like there was nothing, everything they said I did not have or I did not want. I wasn't in a desperate, I need this place. I wasn't in an inspired place. I was like, what on earth am I doing? But here's where I went back to. I wanted to help that one woman. I was like, what if I just get enough information to help one woman? I didn't have this giant dream. I didn't come in going, I'm going to be a diamond on a stage one day. I was like, I'm going to help one woman. So I thought, okay, what's the next step? So I opened up my computer and I got on Facebook and I made one weird post and I was like, okay, I have an upline. Marge, who's this Marge person? I guess I should get to know her. And I went to one of her meetings and on her first, I didn't even know who she was, you guys. Like I knew nothing. I went to the first meeting and she's like, what if you could make $500? And I was like, with $500, I could get my products paid for. I could get extra active for my husband because I told him he needed it and now he was stealing my active and this was a problem. And I could help this one woman. And maybe I have money left over to take someone for lunch or do something fun with my kids. And you guys, this is a really important part of the story because lots of times people can tell these stories and they can say, we have these trips and we have this and we have that. And that's great for some personalities. I wanted to make a couple $100s and help one person. Like that was the big dream. That was my big, huge starting place. It wasn't big. It wasn't grand. It wasn't like the first leaders retreat. I didn't even try because it wasn't something I wanted to do. It wasn't on my radar. I had my two little kids and I was trying to figure out if I was homeschooling them. The other thing that I had was I had had a really hard, intense, but very fulfilling career. And I gave that up to be home with my kids and I already accepted it. I wanted to go back, but my oldest was in grade 3 and he needed to be, I thought, I think I should homeschool him. And I was leaning towards that. And my profession had started to drastically change. I'm like, I think I'd be fired. I don't think I could do it anymore in good conscience because I was a school counselor and a therapist. And in Alberta, the landscape was shifting so drastically that you could no longer really speak truth to kids and talk to them. You were like a paid friend. And so I'd already accepted the fact that I was at home and I was good with that. And this is an important part of the story too, because I wasn't looking for community. I didn't know what I wanted. I was very content in my life. I was very content. And this is important to remember too, because a lot of people, again, they're content, but we're living in this mediocre, I'm content. People are working, coming home, paying bills, go to sleep, rinse, wash, repeat. And sometimes we have to breathe life into that. We have to show people like what's possible because they're not even thinking of it. It's not even on their radar. So I went through the long and the short of it is I went through, I Googled stuff, I did the January challenge, I won some money, and with that money, I paid for a coach to help figure out my mindset issues. And as they say, the rest is history. But as I was thinking of what to share tonight, I'm going to be honest. 2025 has been a dumpster fire, and there's been a lot of times I've wanted to give up. I came into 2025 limping across the finish line. I'm like, I'm stuck. I'm frustrated. I can't do this. And then I stopped. I'm like, Shelly of 2021 wanted to make a couple $100 a month and help one woman. I've helped more than that, and I'm making a lot more than that. I am living in the answer to the prayers I prayed back then. And I'm like, if I could help that one person and make that couple dollars, what's to say I can't go there? Like the fact that you're on this call, the fact that you're able to be here, the fact that your health is this much better, the fact that you've maybe made $2.50, which was, I think, when I started, you didn't have to have a customer to get paid. So I got paid on my products. I think my first paycheck was $2.50. But no matter what you've made, if you've helped one person, if you've gotten here, you can go to the next place. And maybe diamond looks too big for you. And maybe diamond looks too far. And maybe you're like, That's not my thing. I don't want to do all that. But what if we just take the focus off? Like, we want to keep the big goals in the background. Don't hear me wrong. But what if we're just like, what is the thing I can do today to help one or two people, to bless one or two people, to tell one or two people about this opportunity and this product? And go through it that way. You're going to do these little steps, and it's like watching your kids grow. One day you're going to be like, how the heck did they get taller than me? It's going to be the same thing. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, look at where I am. And it's going to be so exciting, and it's going to be so fun, and it's going to be so worth it, because you don't know the impact that the one person you helped, you don't know, and you may never know how that's going to change their family and the people in their circle of influence. So the long and short of it is, um, if I can do this, anyone can. Like, think of what I didn't have. No motivation, no desire, no inspiration, no dream. I had the famous I don't have a dream speech. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the platform. I didn't have the knowledge. I had nothing. You can get everything you need. All you need to have is the desire to help one person. If you guys are here on a Tuesday in the summer, that's all you need. You're clearly here for a reason, or if you're listening to this after the fact, there's clearly a reason that you're here. And so never give up on yourself, never give up on your team, never give up on your friends, because I deeply know we can all do this. That's all.
What do you mean that's all? I was like appetizers, main course, like I think we just had like a 7 course meal. And I don't know if we can handle dessert, but like we'll try. Shelly, that was incredible. That was incredible. I am sure that people are like just their heads are spinning, but if you have any questions for Shelly, so Shelly, go back. You started in 2019?
2020. I started January 2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of started the business-ish 2021. And 2022, I kind of got serious. And some of the health things I kind of skipped over, like arthritis and the hormone were a big thing. But I used to get vertigo so bad that I'd be throwing up in bed for a week. Like, I couldn't do anything. I would have to take a bucket to throw up to walk to the bathroom and then kind of walk back. And that I haven't had a symptom since. So, I mean, as far as that goes, like, hands down, it's changed my life. Because when you miss a week of life throwing up, that, like, what do you do? How do you get that back, right?
Yeah. And you started with, I'm assuming, don't make me assume. What did you start with at the beginning for product?
It's funny. I don't know, because there was that contest happening, and when you open the webpage, there was these little boxes that was like, this one's acceptable for the contest. And so I thought drinks was fun. So I think I was trying to remember, I started with the drinks and like the shakes, the protein shakes.
Yeah.
One of the drinks, but I actually think it was Active, and I think Metaburn. It was kind of an interesting combo pack. But then February or March of 2020, Plexus came to Canada, right? So they were launching the Triplex for the first time. So then if you ordered the Triplex 3 months in a row or something, you got like swag every month.
That's when ProBio CA came to Canada. We opened it in 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. That's when I started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started the Triplex in month 2 or 3. I started the Triplex, but I started with a really weird pack. But the lean for sure was a game changer for me, in being able to like decrease muscle or increase muscle mass and decrease fat. The lean and the Metaburn were a huge thing for me. And I think Slim, I think maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
So thinking back now, would you ever start anybody, like, would you think about starting somebody on those products? Like, that just, to me, it's like, it's always been ingrained, triplex, triplex, triplex. But I think that's beautiful how you're like, well, broke the mold and had tons of success anyway.
Yeah, it has helped me, because I think, like, doing it the wrong way, like I did everything backwards. But some people are like, I refuse to take pills and I don't believe in probiotics. I'm like, great, you want energy? I have one customer, all he drinks is the Slim and the Active, but his order is like 250 PVs a month, because that's all he drinks. He doesn't even drink water, I don't think. And he loves that. And like, it has helped him. It's been really good. So I'm always really clear, if people don't want certain things, I'm like, if you want this, you get this results. You're not going to take this and get these results. But there's some people I found it's a gateway. If they only start with like Active in the shakes and they love those, they'll try something else, right? So I've really been flexible on how to start people, which, as long as they know the results they're going to get, I think can be okay. But Triplex is best, right? But some people just, they're not into that. So,
Well, like I say, It doesn't matter how committed I am to your detox. If you're not, you have a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
So the friend that you were wanting to help, did you ever get the opportunity?
I did. And it's interesting because she started and she never felt better. And then she quit, and now she's never felt worse and she won't come back. And the thing I've learned through that is you guys, people are afraid of change. Like some people getting healthy is scary. And sometimes she was so attached to her identity of being sick.
There it is.
Yeah, that all of a sudden people had expectations of her. And I think for me, the lesson in that has been at times I've wanted it more than others. And when I was in junior high, I used to do the relay race, and people say, we can carry belief for you and you can carry belief for your customers. But there's a time you have to pass it forward. And if they don't take that baton, you have to let it fall. Because I think part of my slow growth has been I've wanted it so badly for people, not just the customers, but the business.
Mhm.
And I've wanted it harder and I've worked harder than them. And sometimes we have to step back, and that's been my growth and learning, and be like, at some point, you have to drink the water, right? Like you have to do the things, you have to do it. So it was exciting that she did, and it's sad that she's not, but that's her choice. So
But you did get to help her and she did see results. So that it doesn't sound like your dream was not that she stayed on the product forever. So I guess
yeah,
we need to be careful with our prayers and our dreams. Be a little bit more. Lord, if you could just extend this a little bit. But you know what? It's
right?
encouraging, I think, too, that like you guys are all looking at Shelly and hearing her speak so eloquently and wow, it's worked for her that you know what? People dare to quit on Shelly too. They dare to quit on Jimmy, and they do the same thing to me. So there's no one who is insulated from people quitting on themselves because it's not about you, it's about them.
And I think if we normalize that, and I think one thing I really got, because my first few people were so committed that I still remember when Marge messaged me and she's like, your back office is amazing. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And she's like, well, you've had the same 8 customers forever. No one's ever quit. I was like, isn't that the goal? Like, I didn't know, right? And then people did come and quit. And I was like, what? I had a whole team of people quit, you guys. I had a 50-point team, and the leader had a temper tantrum, and she goes, if you don't do what I want, I will take everyone with me. And she did. It happens. That's okay. And if we normalize it as part of the growth process, and we go, some people are going to quit. They're not quitting on me. They're quitting on themselves. They have to do personal growth they're not doing. If we normalize that, because I think in the beginning, those things were devastating because I had seen 100% for so long. I had a tiny little team, but no one was quitting. And then people started, I was like, well, what did I do wrong? And there's a place we have to ask what we did wrong and what we could do better. But there's a place that we have to let that be on other people, and they'll quit on themselves, not necessarily on you. And that doesn't mean we keep giving up. We just keep going and we keep finding new people, and they quit, and that's okay. And a lot of them will stay and some will quit. And I've learned that's life and it's normal now. But in the beginning, when people would quit, I would want to quit, right? But there's always that one more woman that wants help, and we have to go find them.
Mhm. I love that. I love that, Shelley. And I think the reason why I love this company and just and I've heard this time and time again from different people. The way we do business is very different. We're very one plexus. The fact that you're on another team and openly coming and sharing with us is absolutely amazing. And, I think that just not only that, but we're not into being fake. We want to give people truly what this is about. This is Hope, Health, and Happiness Company. There is some amazing opportunities, not only with your health, but to, like you say, if it's $500 and that you can take the girls out for lunch and go shopping, and that is what you want to do, great. For other people, it's building orphanages, right? And and so it's just so beautiful that way. I think something I want to share about Shelley is when I was going through cancer treatment, and we were together at Red Deer. I didn't really know her, but here she walks up to me and she hands me this cute little card that she made and just said, I'm praying for you. And you know what? I stuck that card in my calendar book that I carried with me everywhere for Plexus. And I carried that, and once in a while I just pull it out. And that was just so inspiring to me. And that just tells you that she is so caring and wants to encourage people. And so I think you're absolutely fabulous at this because that is really the heart of you, right? And the fact that you would just turn around and, you don't have to do that. I'm not on your team. You're not on mine. Like, but you
Mhm.
did that. And that just really spoke volumes to me about who you are as an individual. And it's been fun, seeing you on trips and
Mm.
places we go, the cruise and different things. And oh, hey, Shelly, and how are you doing? And she's got the most beautiful long hair also. But just a joy. And that's why I love this. I love this. I love the encouragement we get from one another to build each other up in what we're doing. Not everybody has communities like this. They just don't. And that's why I love Plexus is just our community is just we are there to strengthen and hold up each other and walk together. Walk us home.
Totally. I agree. I agree. Well, that's a beautiful way to close. If anyone has any other questions, I'm sure Shelley would love to answer them off screen or whatever. Send her a friend request. Again, like build your community of the people that you resonate with. Like sidelines are so, so, so important. So, Shelley, thank you for your time. We really value it. And
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
thank you. All right. Have a great night, guys. See you later. Bye.